Welcome to Mr. Chalk's Revision Tips. In this video, we will look at
classification, Carl Linnaeus, and the three domains. So, living organisms are classified into groups based on their characteristics. So, we'll have a look at the work by Carl Linnaeus, how this came to give us the binomial classification system that we currently have, and how this classification system has developed over time as technology has developed. So Linnaeus called groups kingdoms, but Aristotle was the first person to come up with some sort of classification system. So in 350 BC, Aristotle compiled a book of a history of animals, which was his first comprehensive study of animals, and we believe is the first real attempt to go and classify organisms. In 1551, a Swiss botanist produced a more comprehensive 4-volume encyclopedia. Then the big breakthrough came in 1758 when Carl Linnaeus published his 10th book, which was now considered to be the starting point of biological classification. In 1866, Haeckel, so a German botanist and biologist, produces the third kingdom of Protista, so that is an addition to what Linnaeus suggested about plant and animal kingdoms. In 1969, a 5-kingdom classification system was proposed by Whitaker, consisting of prokaryote, protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia, which was kind of the starting point of the system that we use today. And in 1977, so following genetic analysis, Carl Voss introduces the 6-kingdom classification model, subdividing prokaryotes into archaeobacteria and eubacteria. So that's kind of the history behind the classification system. So living organisms are classified into groups depending on their structure and characteristics. This system was developed in the 18th century by Carl Linnaeus, so the classification system of species allowed the subdivision of living organisms into more specialized groups. So for instance, we have reptiles, so they have lungs and dry scales. We've got mammals having lungs, fur, to give birth to live young, they have internal fertilization. Birds have lungs, feathers and beaks. They have internal fertilization but lay eggs. Amphibians usually have lungs but can also absorb oxygen through their moist skin. Their body temperature also varies according to its surroundings. Amphibians also reproduce by external fertilization and lay eggs. Bony fish. So bony fish absorb oxygen through their gills. Their body temperature varies according to their surroundings. Bony fish reproduce by external fertilization and also lay eggs. So, as we previously talked about, Carl Linnaeus is famous for his works on taxonomy. So this is a science of identifying and naming organisms. So one of his contributions was the development of the hierarchical system of classification of nature that we use today. So the system includes 8 taxa, so it goes domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So taxonomy entails the description, naming and classification of living things. It helps us categorize organisms so that we can more easily communicate biological information about them. A species is a group of living organisms consisting of similar individuals capable of exchanging genes and interbreeding. So a group of organisms that is similar, we call a species, like we've just said. They've got similar genes, similar physical characteristics, and similar biochemical characteristics. They've got similar immunological features, and they occupy the same niche. So members of the same species can breed with each other to produce fertile offspring, and it's the fertile offspring that is important. Any of the genes of a species individuals can combine with any other if they belong to the same gene pool. Binomial numeric claim, so the classification system, is a formal system of naming the species of living things by giving each species a name made up of two parts. So there are a few advantages of this. So each creature only has one scientific name, and each name only refers to one type of creature. This allows for greater precision. The scientific naming system allows people to see the relationship between animals. Common names are only common to certain areas. So by giving them a specific name, it means that that one name will be used everywhere. So the way that we go and we work it out, we start off with the kingdom. So the kingdom is the first division. So we've got animals, plants, fungi, protists and prokaryotes. Then underneath that, we've got phylum. So that goes and breaks things down further. So it might include things like chordate, which means that they have a backbone, etc. The class further subdivides it. So the chordate phylum could be divided into mammals, birds, amphibians, fish and reptiles. The order further goes and breaks this down. So a further subdivision could be for mammals, could be to put them into carnivores and primates. The genus gives us further detail. So the Felidae family can be further subdivided into 4 genuses. And the species is the final classification stage, which gives us that final 2-part name. The 3-domain system is biological classification introduced by Carl Voss in 1990 that divides cellular life forms into archaea, bacteria, and eukaryote domains. The key difference from early classifications is the splitting of archaea from bacteria. So the reason that this came about was that the technology associated with biology has advanced throughout the years, which allows the current classification system to be enhanced by using microscopes, biochemistry and DNA evidence. We now refer to bacteria as being true bacteria, eukaryota, which includes things like protists, fungi, animals and plants, and archaea, which is primitive bacteria that live in extreme environments.
Thanks for watching.